I try really hard not to think every moment, oh, I'm legally blind and I have cerebral palsy. But when things come up, when barriers interrupt the flow of my life, of being a wife or a counselor or someone who's involved in my community, then I have to start thinking critically about what would make this environment better.
I like my independence, and I value my independence more than anything. I've never been able to receive help easily, and for me to have to ask for it, it just tears at my soul and who I am, because I don't like things to look hard for me.
It's been almost 7 years since I've been in a wheelchair, and it's amazing. I don't even remember what my life was like without having a chair.
I think of this experience in the design charrette as an opportunity to help other people understand the nuances involved.
The opportunity for us as practitioners and for students to learn how to watch and listen to what happens in a day of the life of folks navigating the world will help us to think bigger about what solutions we're coming up with.
Like, what is this lived experience, and connecting people to this up front before we even start thinking about designing something.
What I love about the process of the charrette and being a test pilot is that someone is having a forethought to make decisions based on the most excluded group.
That should be mandatory, that every designer see the lived experience and they see the struggles.
Being invited to the charrette, I had no preconceived notions of what we were doing. We had someone in a wheelchair and someone who was blind. Our destination downtown was Rosa Parks Circle. And what was that experience like for them? You know, getting around the venue.
When you get to walk alongside somebody who is experiencing the world in a little bit different way than you are, you start to realize the things that you take for granted, or the things I think that you didn't notice.
When we talk about the ADA, we like to say it's the worst you can legally do. So don't brag up that you met the ADA. The worst you can legally do is actually inaccessible to a lot of people.
We as an industry really need to focus on educating our clientele and the cities we're working within, because if we're not pushing it, there's nobody downstream of us that's going to push the issue either.
Sometimes the littlest thing can make a gigantic difference in someone's life and can literally open doors for them to get to a new restaurant, get to a job.
I mean, there's all these tangible things where universal design makes life better and easier for all of us. Certainly the chair user benefits from a ramp, but so does the parent pushing a stroller. All of the things that are happening in downtown on any given week or weekend, if you can make those places as inclusive as possible, like ultimately it helps everybody's bottom line.
People have to consider this all as an investment in their own future.
It's investing in a future where every single person throughout the aging process, from a child to someone who's 95 years old, can feel connected and safe in a community.
So after participating in the charrette and how I apply that to what I do every day, you know, we have a goal within Progressive ourselves, not just interiors, but in architecture, how we approach lighting, everything. We put that universal design cap on. It's something that we've taken and put a stake in the ground as a company to say, hey, when we get a new project, whether they ask for it or not, it's just good practice. That puts us ahead so much farther, and 9 times out of 10, our client is gonna say, gosh, why haven't we been doing this all along? It just makes sense. You know, it's a simple question, why wouldn't we do it as a society?
We have been great leaders in the way we think about designing for environment. Why can't we also be great leaders in designing for humans? I think that would be a fascinating place to spend time. We have the intellect to do that, and we have the desire to do that, and if we have the right support, it should be very achievable.
We have huge gratitude to Downtown Grand Rapids, Inc. for their continued confidence and investment in accessibility. You know, you go back 2005 when they paid for the first audit of downtown, and then we updated that 12 years later, and then now with the charrettes. I mean, they want to to make sure downtown is as accessible and inclusive and inviting as it can be. They understand that this is what community means. It's about time that we move forward.
Grand Rapids has done so many great things for diversity and inclusion. Design, I think, needs to be the next step, because that is the ultimate way to include individuals so that they can flourish.